upset me, blood. I run it cause they didn't wanna care. Grime is mine, everyone's gone queer. Albums dropping now, man, I gone clear. Put an MC in the electric chair. My bars kill like an African spear. When I start thinking you don't wanna be near, might leave you swimming in the river somewhere. Gunman, but you've got no gun here. You need to get that gun out your rear. You're big, but you only get love there. You're old news, everyone's right here. Dirty, I'm coming with the sound of the year. What's this, who's that bread? Making moves, so I'm never on air. Some men I lose, but they just won't dare. Fuck with you, I will end the career. Hold up, let me go back there. When D-Double said, man, used to wear flares. I was saying I was bare face on the stairs. Now they stare at me bare face, you swear. Stars struck me, the other man that disappeared. But I kept growing like purple's beard. Who would have thought I'd be the one they fed? Let's raise the toast to the dawn. Cheers. You don't wanna upset me. No, you don't really wanna upset me. No, you don't really wanna see me. Your citizens set up and don't upset me. You don't wanna upset me. No, you don't really wanna upset me. No, you don't really.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Probably. And I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now. Who do you think you are? Bless your soul. Well, I make you crazy. I make you crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen from Capital FM Arena here in Nottingham, England, a very good evening and welcome to BAMMA 8, a full night of professional mixed martial arts for your entertainment. This bout is scheduled for 3 rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, a striker standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, official weight 125 pounds. As a professional, his record stands perfect, 2 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Portsmouth, England, here is Brian Hyslop. And next his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, a jiu-jitsu artist standing 5 feet 6 inches tall. He too weighed in 125 pounds. As a professional, his record, 3 victories and 1 defeat. Fighting out of and representing Newcastle, England, here is Ian Malone. Referee in charge of the action, Mark Wooder.
Right, so we're ready to go here. Brian Hyslop versus Ian.
Well, Malcolm, first of all, I'd like to say I'm really happy to be here tonight for BAMMA 8. Now, an interesting thing about Ian Malone, he just received his brown belt in BJJ in 2009. All wins of his have been by submissions, and his only loss has come by rear naked choke. Inside leg kick by Hyslop. Ooh, overhand right catches him on the button.
Level changes here. Don't hesitate when you do something.
Malcolm, it looks like Hyslop wants to keep it on the feet, and Ian Malone, the BJJ brown belt, is trying to take it to the ground. And that's how I would picture this playing out. Both guys are trying to find their range. However, ooh, big shot just missing the mark there by Hyslop.
Well, that's right. As you said, Malone, with his 3 wins coming by way of submission, will want to do that. Hyslop is rounded. One of his wins was by KO, one by submission, one by decision. So it shows a well-rounded fighter. But as you said, more comfortable keeping this upright.
Now, Malcolm, I want to tell you right now, did you see that little pocket rocket there? Hyslop just dirty boxing, uppercuts now, saying that big kick there by Malone.
Yeah, he smiled at that leg kick from Malone.
Nice body shot there from Hyslop.
And a good stiff jab from him as well as Malone came in. And that's what Malone's got to be careful of, because obviously Malone, as you said, will want to take this to ground. But again, he misses with the bolo and gets caught again. Sharp boxing from Hyslop.
Now, Hyslop is from Dinky Ninjas and Grip House out of Scotland. And I tell you what, he came from a boxing background. In fact, he only converted over to MMA about 2 years ago.
Well, as I said, all his professional fights have been this year, so he's a busy young man.
He's a confident young man. I read an interview that Hyslop did, and he's very confident not only in himself but his team. One of his coaches is going to be is Paul McVeigh, and he's on the card tonight. And I tell you what, he's one of the hidden secrets of the UK. I mean, he's been to Japan, all over, international fighter. And if you have somebody that, you know, teaching you your ones and twos, you're going to get it right here in the cage.
So at the moment, the way I see it, Hyslop's done a good job of keeping this upright. Malone, as we saw then, surely he's got to set that up.
Malone is forcing the takedown without coming behind anything, meaning he's got to set it up with a punch kick. There you go. Big kick, a nice takedown there by Hyslop.
Yeah, you were just about to say that Malone needed to set it up. He tried to set it up, went for it, but it's actually Hyslop that gets the takedown.
What I'm surprised is that Hyslop, even though he scored with the takedown, you know what? Let's bring it back to the feet, because he's scoring at will on the takedown. Excuse me, on the stand-up.
And as you said, that it does come back upright, and it's been a tough round for Malone.
Malone is just not putting his punches and kicks together to set up the change of levels, either for the takedown or even to get himself into a clinch position. Saying that, he is working, ooh, beautiful knee straight through the middle by Malone. Hyslop kind of winced at that one, in a return knee by Hyslop.
Well, Malone's last outing was in April of this year, and it was a first-round submission of Rob Bunford. So obviously, Hyslop's been the busier fighter of the two. But again, Malone, we can see how dangerous he was. That was a first-round submission, and he was out of there.
Now, what I will tell you is I think that Ian Malone has showed his cards early in the first that he wants it to go to the ground. And he's willing to do anything to get it there.
Well, it hasn't happened so far. So you heard that for the last 10 seconds there. And there you go. And I feel a good round for Brian Hyslop.
He scored with the more accurate punches. I feel that he was more aggressive. Even on the takedown attempt that was initiated off of a kick from Ian Malone, Hyslop turned it around and made it a takedown for himself. So he scored both with the takedown, as well as that crisp, explosive striking on the stand-up.
The problem for Malone really was the setup to the takedown, wasn't it?
Yeah, as with anything, you've got to set it up. You've got to come behind something. Not only that, it helps you to set up that range, because if you're a little bit further than jab distance, you're going to shoot in from way too far. So get that jab popping and come up and under that, and then go for either the entry to the clinch or a possible takedown.
So here we go, as the cage door shuts for the second round. We've got Hyslop winning the first with his upright work, and as you said, that boxing background I felt really showed in that first round.
Yeah, and it's obvious that he's been in boxing for a while. Just his footwork and the way that he's running the punches and bunches. Ooh, big inside kick. And as soon as Malone tries to go for the clinch, it's over and under with punches, huge hooks to body and head by Hyslop.
That's right, an explosive start to the second round. Malone again came in for that clinch, and the punches came in bunches from Hyslop. Malone took them well, and you wonder what power Hyslop carries there, because some of those shots got through very cleanly.
Well, you can see the marking on the body of Malone. I think he is hitting with heavy shots. Nice leg trip, and once again, Hyslop showing a very good base, able to reverse that, and he's in the guard of Malone. However, it's right where he wants to be, because he's able to posture up and throw down the ground and pound, hopefully open the guard and get back to his feet. Butterfly guard there from Malone. Nice inside leg trip. This is the first time that we've seen a completed takedown from Malone.
I was just about to say, this is the first time that Malone has, for want of a better term, got his own way in this fight.
Now, he's really going to have to make this count, because let's face it, I don't want to be back on the feet with a Brian Hyslop, especially when he's throwing bombs, punches and bunches like he was earlier in the first and here in the second.
That's right. You'd be looking now for Malone to really put the squeeze on here, wouldn't you? And to really get that position, work for that sub, because he has to maximize these moments.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'll tell you what, Hyslop is looking, you know, he's still looking fresh. However, he needs to get his back up, because all he's doing right now is he's holding his opponent on top of him. And let's face it, Malone is getting something for nothing, because, you know, Hyslop has to carry his weight.
Nice very smooth transition there, Pierre.
Now, this is everything that you would expect from a BJJ brown belt.
And the good thing for Malone is, we mentioned about maximizing, he's got plenty of time here, hasn't he?
Yeah, very early here in the second. Now he's passed out the side mount, and let's see what he does. Is he going to go for a possible Kimura? Right now, he's just chest bumping. Basically, he's picking up Hyslop and pounding him with his shoulder and his chest. Not going to knock him out, but it will cause him to possibly move.
Well, our referee, Mike Wood, I'd seen enough, and you can see Malone looked at him there. He can't believe that. He's frustrated. What's your take on that?
Well, Malone was being active, and he's still questioning the referee. However, he better get his hands up, because Hyslop, again, tidy boxer, very powerful. Yeah, that may have been a little bit of an early, but, you know, fans here at BAMMA expect non-stop action, and I'm sure that's what the referee had intended.
Yes, we'll see how much that affects Malone, because he did look at the referee. He was shocked by that, and now he has to look for, as you said, for those hooks. And short chopping hooks like that. He's taking a left and a right now while they're back upright.
Now, what you have to question, Hyslop threw a lot of punches in the first or the second. Has he possibly puffed himself? Has he gassed out a little bit?
Well, he's stopping Malone getting where he wants to be again, but Malone is taking those shots well. It's one of two things. Either Malone has got a very solid chin, or Hyslop doesn't have concussive knockout power in one shot, or a mixture of both, because he has been hit cleanly, Malone, and he's still there, as we saw again.
Yeah. Now, it's funny that you mentioned that, because you've got two types of punchers. You have knockout power punchers, and then you have those guys that are cumulative power punchers. It takes a number of punches over a period of rounds for them to get the knockout, and maybe, who knows, that's where Hyslop falls.
Yes, he's certainly clean punches. You saw there again, catches the leg, 3 almost bowling hook uppercuts there. And this is the problem for Malone. When he washes in like that, he walks in and doubles the impact of those punches.
Now look at that. Hyslop timed that beautifully. Malone went for the knee, he caught it, underhooked it, and hit the leg trip. And now he's in top position. However, saying that Malone is looking for a possible elevator there. Both guys just jockeying for position here.
And it looks like Hyslop that is just about to get there. And again, I think he would be a dangerous man when he's in that mount, Pierre.
Yeah, you do not want to be, because your head has nowhere to go when it's backed up against the mat. The shots are harder when you're throwing from that mounted position. Nice elevator sweep there, got a lot of clearance.
Now, Malone there, you see him put his arms out. That was unfortunate because that was his best moment right there at the end of the round. He had that early in the round, and then that frustration when we saw him look at our referee, Mark Woodard, as if to say, why are you bringing us back up? And then it took right to the end of the round to get into position again. So again, a second frustrating round for him.
Now that may be a deal breaker. If he had a chance to win, or if he has a chance to win, it's definitely going to be on the ground. That was a wasted opportunity, he feels, not through any fault of his own, because I honestly believe he thinks that was an early stoppage and back on the feet by both fighters.
Now, as we're coming out for the third and final round, if you're in Brian Hyslop's corner, you'd probably be saying, just keep this going, more of the same. He's not really been troubled. He hasn't hurt Malone, but he's been racking up the points.
I mean, just in the first round alone, if we had a CompuBox, he probably threw, what, maybe 50 to 70 shots?
So we have 1 round left for Ian Malone to really get his BJJ skills going. But the problem for him is that transition, that closing the gap to get for the shoot, because Hyslop is so fast with those hands.
He really is, but saying that, look at Hyslop, he's slowing down a little bit and he's flat-footed. Beautiful takedown by Malone.
Now for the first time, Pierre,
he set it up.
And he's got it nice and early. The frustration in the first 2 rounds, success here in the third for Malone, and he's got a lot of the round left to play with as well.
Now he knew what he wanted immediately. He set it up like you said he should have done in the first and the second. And look at this. He ends up in a top position in the half guard. He's going to try to pass that. It looks like he's trying to set up possibly for... Now he's just got possible side control if he passes. But with a BJJ brown belt, this is not the position that you want to find yourself in.
But Malone will also be conscious of the fact that he was stood up last time. Do you think that'll be playing on his mind? Do you think he'll be looking for different things this time?
Oh yes, I mean, you definitely have to be more aggressive. If you know that the ref is going to call it up to the feet early, you know, it's your job to prevent that from happening, especially if this is where you want to be.
And Malone using that shoulder again, which was the position he was in when he was pulled up last time.
Now he's going to have to be careful because you don't want it to get stood up. I would concentrate on possibly posturing up or passing the half, get into a good side mount position or possibly into full mount, and let's try to rack up some points of our own.
Now what does that say to you about his offense, or does it say more about Hyslop's ground defense? That he's frustrated enough to just be using the shoulder to do those bumps like that?
Well, Hyslop may, you know, from the bottom, prevent him from moving to a better position. I know he's defended the passing of the guard by Malone on 3 or 4 occasions, so maybe he's just stifling Malone's ground game.
Yes, Malone really needs to make this count, because being honest, he does need a submission in this round to take this fight, because I think that the judges will very clearly score it 2 rounds to Hyslop, the first 2. So this round, for this 5 minutes, he's really got to start looking for those submissions.
Now Hyslop tried to go out the side door, however, he's got to be careful that he doesn't give his back, and immediately Malone looks to set in both hooks. However, he only gets 1 in. He's got seatbelt. He went from seatbelt to shoulder and hand control. Now he's trapped the arm. Look at the flexibility in the legs of Malone.
Well, this is the moment we talked about. He needs a submission to win this. He has to get it, and now he's got the opportunity. He cannot afford to squander it.
Now look how high that leg is going. He's peeling the hand off. Now that was beautiful. Very flexible, Leg comes up high and just reaps that hand down, and he's got the hand secured. That was just awesome.
Now, dangerous moments indeed for Hyslop, who has dominated the fight so far, but in this third round, Malone took him down early and has dominated and is now looking to make this secure for himself. The submission will negate those first 2 rounds completely.
No, Hyslop had an opportunity there because Malone had his feet crossed. If you come up over the top with your own legs, you could possibly go for an ankle lock yourself. However, that's a missed opportunity because he's uncrossed the legs. Now look at the back control there from the back mount by Malone. Malone's just really, really tight and really secure. And again, let's go back to the flexibility of that young man. Oh, now look at that. He's bringing it back old school, Hoist Gracie style, the heel.
I think he knows this is the moment, this is the opportunity. I cannot afford to blow it.
Now Hyslop is doing very well to keep the hand control from Malone. You know, he's got to prevent the hand from sliding up underneath the neck because obviously now, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, the corner and you can hear the fans and Malone. That is a controversial call.
Well, you know what? You're not in the cage with Martin Woodard. Now, swinging for the fences is Brian Hyslop. Brian Hyslop beckoning him, come on, let's do it. Let's give the fans what they want.
Well, he knows that round really was big for Malone. And something else we have to say here, Mark Woodard is a very, very experienced referee, possibly the best, one of the best at least in this country. And that will still be a talking point.
Yeah, and you know what though, all he can do is do his best. He knows the rules, and again, he is very experienced. And but yeah, this will be a controversial ruling if it goes to Hyslop.
Well, as we said, a dominant third round for Malone. But will it be enough? I think Hyslop's got those first 2, and the talking points will be the standing the men back up, especially in the third. We'll see how this affects the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards, and all 3 judges see it the same, 29-28, for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Brian Hyslop!